What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Popcorn Podcast. My name is Dylan, of course, and recently we surpassed 100 subscribers on the channel. I know it's not a huge number or anything like that, but to me it's pretty cool that a lot of you guys who are watching right now have been tuning into my videos over the past couple of months. So from me to you guys, thank you so much. And of course, to those of you who are new, welcome. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you love movies and jump on board with us. But of course, in today's video, I'm gonna be doing something a little bit different. Hopefully it's gonna be quite fun to do. So a couple of days ago on my Instagram, I asked you guys to submit some questions for a Q&A. So that's exactly what I'm gonna be doing right now. I'm gonna be answering your questions. I tried to pick a good mix of questions that you guys submitted over the past couple of days. So yeah, hopefully this video turns out okay. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So question number one, what is your favorite TV show or shows? So first one that comes to my mind is Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was pretty much my life since 2011 all the way up until last year. I know the last season was a big disappointment to a lot of fans out there, including myself, but I still do love the show and I still think that no other show really comes close to what Game of Thrones has actually achieved over the past couple of years. Speaking of which, I haven't actually seen Breaking Bad yet, and I know that has always been the comparison with Game of Thrones, but I think I'm gonna start it next week. So yeah, I'm very excited to go and watch that. Aside from Game of Thrones, I would have to say Peaky Blinders, Stranger Things, Attack on Titan, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Daredevil from Netflix. It's still very upsetting that that show has been cancelled because to me that was the best Marvel superhero show out there. So yeah, those are some of my all-time favorite shows over the years, basically. Favorite guilty pleasure films? Well, anyone who knows me personally knows that I love watching rom-coms. Rom-coms, I've watched so many over the years. Some of my favorites are Crazy Stupid Love, 500 Days of Summer, About Time, Wedding Crashers. Wedding Crashers is more comedy rom-com, but I guess it still fits into that category. Yeah, I love watching rom-coms. They're just great feel-good films, and yeah, I'm not even ashamed to say it. Will I ever do a top 10 rom-com list? Sure, why not? If that is something you guys are interested in, I will definitely go ahead and make that. Favorite popcorn flavor, as it is the Popcorn Podcast? Yeah, quite a few people actually asked me this question. I don't know what the whole obsession with it. I guess, of course, it is to do with the name of the channel, but 100% sweet for me. I don't mind mixed, but I will not have salted, just straight salted in the cinema, sweet all the way, because I'm a massive sweet tooth. How old are you? I'm 21 years old. Favorite cinema experience? Oh, without a doubt, Avengers Endgame last year. Not only was it my favorite cinema experience, but genuinely one of the greatest days of my life. And yeah, I think I have made plans to dedicate an entire video for that specific experience. I want to talk to you guys about that because just even thinking about it now, Ever hated a film so much that you walked out of the screening? That's a good question. For me, I feel like whenever I go and watch a film, I have to, even if it's the worst film ever, I have to sit and watch the whole thing straight. Just because, number one, I don't want to judge the film too quickly because sometimes films don't open so great and they turn out to be not bad. And also, number two, you have to kind of pay respect to the people who actually made the film. They don't intend to make a bad film, but yeah, I've never walked out of a film, but I did come very, very close to, I think a couple of years ago with the latest Robin Hood film starring Taron Egerton and Jamie Foxx. That film was just all levels of bad. And I remember I was with two of my friends and we couldn't take the film seriously, and yeah, we did want to leave, but we did end up staying the whole way through. So yeah, Robin Hood, very close. Cinema pet peeves? Yeah, just the standard ones, people talking, people going on their phones. People ruffling their popcorn bags during the film very loudly. Like, I know sometimes you can't help it, but there have been times in films where people have actually almost ruined a pivotal scene in the film because all you hear is the flipping ruffling of their popcorn bags. It's just so annoying. Worst cinema experience? I haven't had any that have been so diabolical, but one that comes to mind was Godzilla, I think in 2014. So I went to see this film with a couple of my friends, and about 2 rows behind us, there was like about 5 or 6 kids. They were a lot younger than us at the time. They just would not stop talking throughout the film, and every time Ken Watanabe came on screen, Ken Watanabe, he's an absolutely amazing actor, but of course he's a Japanese actor, so he obviously has an accent in the film. Every time he'd say Godzilla, these kids would just be super disrespectful and just try to imitate the way he said it, and it was just so annoying. And then at one point, my friend literally walked up the stairs and basically went to them and said, "Shut the f*** up!" Nothing absolutely wild or anything like that, but yeah, that was a pretty bad experience for me. Why haven't you done a Harry Potter series review yet? Well, the reason I haven't done it, I don't plan to do it anytime soon, is because I'm saving myself for a point where Harry Potter just feels right. So for example, next year or the year after, I think the next Fantastic Beasts film comes out. So I might do a whole Harry Potter series in the lead up to that. And also another reason is I want to do this Harry Potter series with a couple of my close friends, because Harry Potter was a massive part of our childhood. A lot of our banter revolves around Harry Potter. So I just think personally having them with me talking about each of the films will just be that more funny, and then just a better experience for me as well. I'll probably have a lot of fun shooting those videos. So yeah, that's why I haven't done a Harry Potter series review yet. How will cinema and reviewing films be affected by COVID? Well, I guess the biggest change is that we're not getting as many films as we would have if the whole pandemic didn't happen. So there isn't really enough new material being consumed by audiences, because of course film studios are reluctant to release the films due to monetary factors. But looking on the bright side, we are slowly starting to get back into going back to cinema regime, with obviously films like Tenet and Christopher Nolan campaigning so hard with Warner Brothers to release the film. And yeah, slowly I'm hoping that everything is going back to normal, and we can go back to the cinema and enjoy just like we used to. What are some of the worst films you've watched? Okay, the first ones that come to mind: Batman and Robin, 50 Shades of Grey. Yes, I actually watched that film. Fantastic Four, the latest one. Jack and Jill. I haven't seen Cats, but I'm sure if I had seen Cats, that would also be on this list as well. Favorite film composer, and what is your favorite piece / soundtrack from his work? So favorite film composer, Hans Zimmer. Favorite single piece, I would have to say Time from Inception. But if we're talking about the whole score, I would have to go with Interstellar. In 2020, what is your favorite film that you've seen? This could be a brand new film or one that has already been released. So brand new film, I'd have to go with Tenet. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a huge fan of Christopher Nolan. I genuinely think Tenet is brilliant, and I particularly loved it the second time round. If you've only seen it the first time and you're not really sure, I'd urge you to go and watch it a second time. It makes a lot more sense, and it's just an overall better experience. And of course, try watch it in IMAX. If we're talking about a film that I've watched for the first time in 2020, I watched a lot of new films during quarantine that I haven't seen before. But I would have to say my favorite, or one of my favorites, is maybe David Fincher's Zodiac with Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo. I really love that film. What are your most rewatched films? Oh, this is easy. The Lion King, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and of course with Star Wars, the original trilogy as well as the prequels, The Dark Knight, and a lot of the MCU films as well, like Avengers Assemble. What was the last film I watched? So last night I watched Fighting with My Family. That was actually a pretty good film. And the night before I rewatched Good Time, directed by the Safdie brothers. That is a really, really intense watch, and I definitely recommend that. What movie impacted me the most? Well, there are too many to list, but I would have to say Jurassic Park. As a kid, that was probably my #1 film. Steven Spielberg films were such a big part of my childhood. But growing up, I would have to say The Dark Knight, probably. What upcoming actors do you think have a lot of potential to be big stars? That's a good question. I would say Florence Pugh and Timothy Chalamet, who have already pretty quickly risen in the Hollywood ranks. I would also have to say Anya Taylor-Joy, Millie Bobby Brown, Cameron Monaghan, Jacob Tremblay, Bill Skarsgård, Daphne Keane, Maisie Williams, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Dacre Montgomery, Margaret Qualley. Yeah, there's loads. Next question. Why are you such a dirty little
Dirty little.
Now, real talk. You're lost at sea and you get to bring 5 movies. Go. Well, that's actually a great question. I would definitely have to say the Lord of the Rings trilogy, just because, and of course the extended editions, because by the time you finish the whole thing, you'll probably be rescued by then. No, but all jokes aside, those films are of course just epic, and I don't want to cheat and say them as one film, so I'm going to count them as 3. But yeah, just one continuous storyline, and it's one of the greatest stories to ever be put on the big screen, for sure. Lord of the Rings trilogy. If I had to pick 2 more, I'd have to go with Avengers Endgame from last year, because yeah, like I said, I'm going to dedicate a whole video to Avengers Endgame and my experience with it. Maybe I really want to say The Dark Knight, but if we're talking something a bit more smaller scale, I'd have to go with something like Damien Chazelle's Whiplash. What do I hope to achieve with this channel? Good question. For now, I would say that I just want to make as many videos as possible, and I want to do that consistently. Yeah, I have other commitments as well. I'm still at university, I'm going into my final year, but I don't ever want to stop doing this. This is a big passion of mine, and I want the channel to also be a sort of hub for people who love watching movies and love talking about movies to come and they feel comfortable in sharing their thoughts on, you know, whatever. So that would be amazing. And maybe in the very long term, I would love to maybe get to interview, you know, actors, directors, people who make movies, and yeah, that would be a big dream come true. So yeah, if you could only live with one, what would you pick? Film or TV? Oh, films without a doubt. I mean, in my opinion, I've always preferred to watch films as opposed to TV. The only thing that's even been in competition with that is Game of Thrones. But yeah, films all the way. Favorite foreign movie? The first ones that come to mind: Parasite, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Pan's Labyrinth. What was your first cinema experience like? Well, I can't remember what my first cinema experience was like because I was probably 3 years old, but I do remember what film it was. It was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. If there's one celebrity you wished you could interview, who would it be? Well, the obvious ones would of course be Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, pretty much the whole of the MCU cast. My favorite actors would have to be Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Gosling, and Tom Hardy. Directors wise, definitely Christopher Nolan. If you just watch interviews on YouTube when Chris Nolan is talking, you genuinely feel like you're gaining IQ as he speaks. The guy is so smart, and yeah, he's just a genius filmmaker. In terms of other directors, Scorsese, of course, the great Steven Spielberg, big part of my childhood. Tarantino seems a lot of fun.
Because it's so much fun, Chan. Get it?
Those are the kind of dream guests I would maybe one day love to have on the channel. So yeah. And yeah, that is it, guys. That is all we have time for in this video. If I didn't get around to answering your question, maybe submit it again when I do another Q&A. But yeah, thank you to everyone who submitted questions. This has been a lot of fun doing, and maybe I'll do this more often if you guys enjoy the video. Speaking of which, if you did enjoy the video, please go and leave a like down below and comment what you'd like me to do next on the channel. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of new movies when they come out, and of course reviewing them, giving my thoughts on them. Hit me with some ideas in the comments box and I will be happy to take suggestions. But yeah, until then, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I will catch you very soon in the next one, and yeah, take it easy.